It's the summer solstice, so I'm out here in the trees to do a tarot reading for the next 6 months, just to see where the general energies are going to lie. Everything is pointing to this being a time of change, big change coming up over the next 6 months. So be prepared for that, but let's see what the cards have to say about it. I've got 2 decks with me. I've got the Wildwood Tarot. The cards aren't as big as that. And I've also got the Old Ways Magical Oracle, which I'll be using to help interpret what we're seeing. So, first of all, cards for the next month, for July. I've got the 8 of Arrows, and I've got the Queen of Stones. Now, arrows is kind of your intellect and your rational thinking, whereas stones is all about material stuff, being grounded, possessions, that kind of stuff. The 8 of Arrows is indicating a bit of a struggling time coming up mentally. So you might find yourself enduring a bit of hardship, struggling to think things through a bit. But then we've got the Queen of Stones, who is a very protective and grounded maternal figure. So even if you're struggling mentally, materially and physically, there's that sort of comforting presence around you, which might make a bit of a difference. Now, so as we had 2 cards come out for that one, I'm not going to pull one from the other deck. I'm going to move on to August and see what's going to happen for us then. Here we go. We have the 10 of Bows. Bows correlates to your wands or your staffs in the traditional tarot deck, and this is talking about responsibility. So in August you might find yourself weighed down a little bit by the amount of things that you've got to do. Always remember that you can step back. A lot of the responsibilities you have are things that you give to yourself, and you can actually look at them and go, you know what, I don't need to do that, or I don't need to do it now, so you could stop. So let's pull a card from the other deck just to see if there's any extra meaning for August. Here we go. Ooh, Illuminate, which is a beautiful card. So that potentially, as I say, if you're finding yourself weighed down by your responsibilities and all this list of tasks and everything that you've got to do in August, actually think about what is happening. Because if you can shine a light on what you really need and what you don't need, then you can open yourself up to have more time for what you actually need to do and what you want to do. So illuminate. Give yourself time, give yourself space, give yourself that extra bit of thinking, and then you'll find that things are easier to manage. So that was August. September. Oh, we've got a pile of cards come out for September. We've got the King of Stones, which is the wolf. We've got the 4 of Bows, which is all about celebration. And you've got the Knight of Stones, which is the horse. So a lot of earth in September. It's sort of saying that it's a time to be really taking stock of what's happening. And you've got the higher court cards come out as well. So the King of Stones, looking at kind of the culmination, very protective, potentially could even be a person that you know, a sort of wiser, older, I'm going to say man, because that's a general indication with a king, but actually just a person, wiser, older, grounded. You've also got the Knight of Stones. Again, sometimes these represent people, and it could be, as you see, it's a horse riding in, so it could be something coming in with a new message or a new indication. But because it's the stones, it will be a very grounded or physical or material thing. It won't be a big sort of high energy thing necessarily. It would be much more grounded. But then we add to this the 4 of Bows, which is about celebration. So you've got this sort of solid base from these stones, but you've also got things going on which are a much more happy, joyful, rejoicing. So it sounds like September is going to be a good month. Let's move on to October. Oh, there we go. 2 cards have come out. Okay, so we've got 2 of the major arcana cards have come out here. We've got, first of all, the Seer. Now, the Seer is sometimes correlated to the Magician in the traditional tarot deck. It's generally saying that it's quite a potent card of you have all that you need within you. As above, so below is the general representation for this. You've got everything you need. You've got all the elements working for you. So all you have to do is actually take those and make them and do what you need to with them. So after the sort of groundedness of September, October is a time where you really got the opportunity to make things happen. So keep your eye out on that. There's an interesting thing that way back earlier in the year, and I've written this in my diary, which is why I remember it, I dreamed of the 1st of October as being a really significant date, and I don't know why. And what I've actually written in my diary is, why did I dream of this date on the 1st of October? So that's interesting that this has also come out for the month of October. And the second one we've got is the pole star. Now again, that's a guiding star. That's a light that you set your compass by, that you can travel by. It's also, again, in the traditional tarot, the star is to a certain extent wish fulfillment. It's blending the elements again, which again very much reflects the message of the Seer or the Magician. So this strikes me that October is, not only have you got the tools to make things happen, not only can you manifest what you want, but you're going to be given the guidance too to make certain that you actually get what you want. So let's all hope that October is going to be as good as that promises. Okay, so moving on to November. They're not jumping yet. Any second. That's way too many. Now we'll take the top one of those and then we'll pull one of the others. Okay, so what we've got there is the 7 of Bows, which is about clearance. So that's about making room, making space for things to happen. Again, this is November, so it's a good time really to be thinking about clearing stuff out so you've got everything you need for the winter, getting rid of the things that don't actually serve you at the moment. There's a nice bonfire burning there as well, which you're probably going to need in November. So yes, it's a chop wood and carry water type of card. And there's a bit of splicing going on here. Card from the other deck, just to clarify. There we go. Elemental. So again, bit of a storm. So you need to be bracing yourself to a certain extent, which is where this links very clearly to the 7 of Bows, the clearing, the doing the work, because you need to be setting up against the coming storm. And let's face it, we know that this winter is going to be difficult for lots of reasons, what with the cost of living crisis and all sorts of things going on at the moment. So yes, November, batten the hatches, basically. Okay, and then the final month that I'm going to be reading for, which is just as well because I've reached the limit of the video recording once already. This is December. You see, if the cards would play ball, we'd have got them all done in one go. Yes, being reluctant again. There we go. So we've got the Queen of Arrows, which is the swan, and the Knight of Arrows, which is the hawk. So arrows, again, this is all your intellect, your logical stuff. December will be a time where you need to pay attention and think things through. But because you've got the court cards here, you've got people, again, this could potentially relate to people that you are aware of, who are of sharp intellect. The Knight, again, quite often relates to some new information coming in, a piece, something that you didn't know before. And the Queen of Arrows, again, usually a wiser, older person, or it could just be extra wisdom coming in for yourself. So in December, it's going to be a month really to focus on what you're learning and what you know, and piecing things together in order to carry on for the new year. So that's your tarot reading for the next 6 months. Hope you like that. Enjoy the solstice.